Okay, thank you all for attending our final job prep workshop, getting you ready for the virtual job fair tomorrow. My name is Maddie Borst, and I am the president of the Business Club. The Business Club, Business Department, and Career Services has partnered to bring you these job prep workshops. I'll hand it over to our presenter, Demetrius Robinson, who will now introduce himself.
Cool. Great job, Maddie.
Thank you.
Thanks. So everybody, I'm Demetrius Robinson, as Maddie discussed, and we have been doing, this is our last workshop before the big day tomorrow. The job fair, a virtual job fair. And Linda clapping her hand, because Linda been working. If we all can just do a little clap like this for Linda. Linda been doing behind the scenes, trying to get this job fair up and running. First ever virtual job fair. You guys know, whoever been students here, we always have our job fair inside of our gymnasium here on campus. Hundreds of people will walk through our job fair. That won't be happening this year because of what's going on in our world right now. But Linda's been doing a great job behind the scenes, getting everything worked. She just sent out a list of all the employers and also the description that will be at our job fair tomorrow. We have about 39 employers, and so I don't know how many students registered, but they're all going to have one-on-one time to be interviewed with our job fair participants, companies tomorrow. So we super excited. And so before we even get started, Linda will be working in chat. So you have any questions about this workshop, definitely feel free to email Linda. She can ask some questions for you, or you need more about our services, what's going on here, you could definitely reach out to Linda. If you're here for an extra credit class, if you're here for any extra credit class, please put your information in the chat, your name, also with the name of your class, so we can make sure we get that to your instructor that received your extra credit for the class. So before I always start off, I always like to go through the our workshop and see who's here and why are you here today. And so just tell us your name, your affiliation with MCC, and then also just tell us why you here at the workshop today. So Maddie, you can start us off.
So I'm Maddie Borst. I'm here because I am part of the business club, but I am also always looking for new skills and advice regarding a job search. I think you can never learn too much about that. So yeah, that's why I'm here today.
Ooh, thank you, Maddie. Karen?
Although there's many years between Maddie and I would completely echo what she had to say. Again, I have been in the workforce over 30 years, stayed home and raised children and stuff, but through these workshops, I'm shocked how much I'm still learning. Like even the resume, now that it's just a different time. I live in the past where everything was in a chronological order, the duties you did and stuff on all your jobs, and now we don't put our address on it. We don't put a lot of the things on it. You got that 3 seconds, I think it was 3 or 6 seconds to get the attention. Again, I feel these workshops are just time well spent for sure. And you're right, Maddie, you can never know it all.
Thank you so much, Karen. Sarah?
I'm Sarah Molson. Same thing. I agree with you. Man, this stuff has been such a big help for me. I'm career transition. I was in the same business for 25 years, and now I need something else. I didn't know any of this stuff, so it's been a huge help to me.
Cool.
Thanks
you so much. And thank you so much, Sarah. Ashley?
Thank God that I have a steady job, and I'm not really looking for anything right now. I'm here today because I am a part of the Step Up program, but most importantly, because I love Mr. Demetrius, and anytime he has something, I'm going to be there if my schedule allows. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Ashley was one of the first students I approached me, or I approached her in the hallway my first day here last year. Been a year and some months now, but thank you so much, Ashley. GM Gerald. I said it right, Gerald. Is he there?
Darn it, I had you on mute.
Okay.
I have a mute on my laptop, which I thought I had triggered, but it's the Zoom mute that I still had on. So yeah, you got my name right. That's all good. Yeah, my name's GM. I was furloughed from my job about a month or two ago, and I cross my fingers and pray I'll get a call back, but I can't guarantee it. I'm not waiting around, and I've been with my job for about 15, 16 years, and I'm not waiting around. I'm at least trying to get back in the game. But that being said, I have not applied or even created a resume in 15 years. So I'm just brushing up on my skills, getting ready, and not praying I get a call back, but at least being proactive. And if I don't get a call back, then at least I have something to move forward with. So
Cool. Well, thank you so much. You've been to all 3 workshops. I really appreciate you, and I'm hopefully that you're learning something from all these workshops. Thank you so much, Gerald.
oh yeah.
Is that Samara? Samara, how you doing, Samara?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I am here because I don't think that there's anything that would be a bad thing to learn here. So, I mean, I'm open to just see what it has to offer, and I'm sure it's going to be beneficial because it's kind of hard not to know something about a job, career, and like, I think you just need some general information on it.
Cool. Thank you so much, Samara. I said it right. Perfect. I see Curl is in the house. Curl is one of our instructors. So Curl, just tell us why you joined us today.
Well, hi, Demetrius. How are you today?
Good.
And I see Sarah. She's one of my students. Hi, Sarah. Hi, everybody. And I just wanted to join just to watch it. I love learning, and I like seeing how other people present. And no pressure, Demetrius. I just want to. I just want to see. I wanted to join the other ones. I just couldn't. It was a conflict in time with my schedule, but I had an opportunity to drop in on this one, and I really want to drop in on the job share or the job program tomorrow.
Okay, the job fair.
Job fair. I want to say job share. Although I'm looking for a job share. But no, I honestly I just wanted to see it. So thank you for letting me join.
Oh, cool. And thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And then we talk, and Sherry Ridge is not here today, but we always talk about how MCC is a great place to work for. And we have great qualified instructors and administrative staff and staff that love to work here. And we always here to pitch in and help out. And you need anything from us, we are always here to, like I think Sherry Rich was talking about, she did a mock interview for one of our students on Friday, letters of recommendations, reference letters. We are here. We just not just do our job from 9 to 5. We extend our hours, and we really want to make sure that we promote student success. We want to make sure that each and every one of you are successful when you do leave MCC or attend any of our workshops. So thank you so much, Carol. You do a great job, and I heard great things about you and the students come back and they share. You know how students talk, and so they always say that, yeah, Carol, she's great. So you're doing a great job too.
Thank you. I needed to hear that. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Okay, so now that I've learned more about you guys, so more about me. So everybody, I'm Demetrius Robinson. I've been at the college for a year and some months now, and I love what I do. I'm in the building today. So these last 2 workshops, I was at home in Chicago. So, I travel to Chicago to here. So I took me an hour and 30 minutes to get here. I left my house at 6:30 this morning to get here at 8. But I get up before 6:30 to get my green smoothie and all of that stuff. So I've been up since 5:30 to be here. But I really do love what I do. I do enjoy to get up each and every day to make sure that I'm doing something to give back to the community and to people who want to be helped. And so each and every one of you want assistance, you want services, you want you want the tips, as Karen say, and, and you're always learning, you longing, you itching for that information. And so that's what empowered me and motivates me to get up out my bed at 5:30 in the morning, to drive here, to get here. So this morning I had Jacob was in my office this morning, Maddie. He was here at 8:30. And so Jacob's one of our treasurers for the business club. And he was here, and we just had a great time this morning. And he motivated me, and we motivated each other. But I helped him with his resume and helping him find an internship. And Maddie have our great Maddie, our president here, she has an internship now. And so it makes me feel good that I'm doing something to help and promote you to be successful and help you to identify what you want to be when you grow up. Because we all are still growing up. We all are still growing up. All right, so let me share my screen real quickly about our services. I say this out of all of our workshops. And so what we do in career services, like I stated, like I get up each and every day because some people just like, I just don't know what I want to do with myself. And so I can help you find that right career. So in our office, we have the career assessment. I know a lot of you already took the Sarah, I think Sarah's coming back to see me because she did the fruit assessment. And then I know Ashley did the fruit assessment already. And so a lot of you already came in and already did the assessment, but you haven't done the assessment, definitely come in and see me. We already have the career coach. That's our career coach that is tied in with our programs here, but also I do other career assessment to just identify who you are. You guys probably heard this quote 5 times already from me. I love this quote: live the life you love the life you live. I know you guys are writing it down. Sarah probably know it by heart. But I really feel like you should find a job that fits your personality, and the personality should fit your job. And like I was telling Jacob this morning, I said, dude, I'm so excited to be here. This fits me, and this really does fit me. And but you know what? I've been doing this field for so long right now. But I just thought about the job shadowing. I used to work in a career services center when I was 20 years old. I was a student employee at my community college, which is your daily college, and I was a career services assistant, in which was a student employee position. And it was interesting. Now I'm over career services, but I started off as a student employee at 20 years old in the career assessment in the career services department. And so that's why it was so important for me to come here and start the job shadowing program. We didn't have one now. We didn't have one before, but we have one now. And it's very important that you shadow. If you still don't know what you want to do, go into that particular field and try to figure out, this is something I want to do. Does it fit who you are? Do this company fit in with your morals and your values? And so I was kind of like, I just thought about it. I told Jacob this morning, I was job shadowing at 20 and didn't even know it. And so, because I wind up now, I work in the career service center and oversee the whole center. But then I was a student employee at that particular time. And so that's why it was very important for us to start a job shadowing program here at the college. So the first part of our department is finding that right career for you. After you identify what that right career may be, then you got to gain that work experience. I was talking to Jacob this morning. I was like, you gotta get some work experience. I just had a meeting with our vice president here at the college. We have about 3 vice presidents, and I was just explaining to her about Maddie. I was talking about you, Maddie, and I was just explaining to her how Maddie is one of our success stories, how she was involved in a club here on campus, but her skill that she gained in that particular club wound up getting her an internship. Her being a part of our club organization here on campus, she's a part of Phi Theta Kappa, also a part of our business club as the president. She did the introduction. Her skills is transferable for her to get an internship, for her to get work-based learning, as we call it here at MCC. So a lot of companies always say you need experience. And so they're like, I don't have any experience. You getting part of a club organization, an internship, it's a great way to get that experience. And so, and Maddie, you've been our success story. You don't know I'm talking about you, but I'm talking about you, but it's all good, Maddie. But a gaining work experience, she's really a true testimony of how that really works by her getting involved here on our college campus at an early start. All of those skills that she learned in that club organization transition to what she's doing now as her internship at the Community Foundation here in McHenry County. And so I'm so proud. So really, really take advantage of our internship program here. We have an apprenticeship program, which is a 5-year program. Some people are like, oh, 5 years, but you gaining work experience while the company is paying for your schooling and they paying for you to work there. But you getting that on the job training right then and there, on the job training. So it's a great apprenticeship program. Right now it's only in manufacturing. We trying to expand, but currently it's only manufacturing because our county is a lot of manufacturing companies, but we're trying to expand it eventually. Then also what we do in our office are preparing you for the job search. And so resume development, we talked about resumes on, was it last week? We did resumes last week. And then the week before that, we did the elevator speech and, I don't know, we did elevator speech, cover letter, and resume. I think last week was doing the job search during the pandemic. And so we did that last week. And then today we're talking about interviewing skills, but also our Hire Scott. We have over 100 positions posted on our Hire Scott, and a lot of students don't know about our Hire Scott, even our community members. So we are encouraging everyone to go to our Hire Scott page and create a profile and upload your resume. And if you do that, I'm trying to see my little thing here. If you do that, you could qualify to win a $25 Dunkin' gift card. And so we're still giving it away. Today will be, I guess, our last day, right, Linda? Today is the last day. So you have not uploaded your resume to our Hire Scott page, create an account, upload your resume, and then today is the last day. And then we're going to be pulling the winner probably on Wednesday, and just to see if you can qualify to win that $25 Dunkin' gift card. But we really are trying to get people to know that we have jobs out there, internships out there, all these opportunities out there. And our boss, she helped us out last week, but our associate vice president was here last week, and she's the one giving the $25 out of her own pocket. It's out of her own pocket. It's not from the college money. It's not from the taxpayers' money. It's the $25 gift card is coming from her own wallet. And so, but she really are passionate about really making sure that each and every one of us have the opportunity to go on that site and look up what positions are out there, because she works with all of these companies. And as we talked about last week about connecting and building your network, she's a great person to know because she knows everybody in our network, especially out here in our county. But what a great way to build your network by going on that particular website, uploading your resume, and also um, seeing what's out there and contacting our office to see if you can get an interview with these particular people. And that's what happened with Maddie. Maddie saw our posting on our website, on our Hire Scott, and all of a sudden she's working at the Community Foundation now. So that's our little spiel about our service. Our services, all we got to do is spill about what we do at MCC. So now all you guys here, we're talking about interviewing. How do you interview? Be honest with you, I had an interview a month ago. People are still calling me, and I do interviews just to make sure that I'm still staying relevant of what's going on in the world. Not leaving to leave MCC. I want to scare nobody, but I keep my information current. I just want to know what's going on out there. So I have my LinkedIn profile, my resumes are out there. I still get job offers to this day, but I'm turning them all down because I'm still here at MCC. But it's great for me. I gotta practice what I preach. I just can't teach about interviewing if I haven't been on the interview myself. Just like some people were like, hey, how's this trainer gonna train me? But I haven't seen you lift up a weight. I've seen you get on a treadmill. And so it's very important that I'm out there interviewing myself just to keep current in what's going on. And so today we're going to be talking about we're going to learn how to have a successful interview, to understand the 3 segments of the interview, preparation, and then also understand the components of an interview. But before we even get started, I'm going to show you guys a cool video, the rest of my mouth right now. So I'm going to show you guys a video, and then we're going to go into some more tips. So you guys are ready? Not yet? Okay, I see you. Okay, perfect. I'm going to stop sharing real quickly. Now, this guy, before I even share, I think before some of you guys just got on, oh, it's a new person, Maxie. How you doing, Maxie? nice to meet you, Maxie. Did I say your name right, Maxie? Maxine? She's coming. Oh, I know her. I know you. Okay, yes. Good to see you again, Maxine. So my students are coming on. Yay. All right, so this video I'm about to show you guys, his name is Frank Thomas. He came to Moraine Valley. Before I started here at MCC, I worked at Moraine Valley for numerous years and years at Moraine Valley, and I worked at Richard Daly College. And so we had this guest speaker to come on, and he's a great, phenomenal speaker, and we had him to come on to sell resume. It's a funny video. He's gonna give us some like 10 tips on how to successful interview. So everybody get their pen and papers out and ready. And we're gonna learn from his tips. And then after that, I'm gonna share some tips of my own. I'm gonna go through I have a 30-slide PowerPoint, but I'm gonna skip through some of it, but we're going to watch his video. So you guys are ready? I see all the nod heads. Yes. Okay, cool. You guys see my screen? Okay, cool.
So today we are going to be focusing in on how to ace a job interview. And I'm going to be giving you 10 tips that you can use to make sure that you're on the hiring manager's shortlist by the time you walk out of the room. But before we get started, I do want to mention that this video is sponsored by one of my favorite apps, which is Audible. Now I'm going to have more information at the end of the video and a book recommendation from my own personal library. But if you do want to get a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook of your choosing, you can go over to audible.com/Thomas or text Thomas to 500 to get started. First up on our list is to do practice interviews, and you actually have a lot of opportunity to do these. When I was a college student at Iowa State University, throughout my 4 years, every single year when the career fair would roll into town, there would be actual recruiters that would come to the Career Center and offer up their time to do practice interviews with any student that signed up for one. Now, these interviews weren't real interviews, but they were real conversations with people who were hiring managers or HR people at companies who were going to be at the career fair. So in addition to being good practice for future real interviews, they were actually good networking experience with people who might be making decisions in the future. But the main benefit of these types of interviews is that they are great practice for the real thing, because an interview is inherently a nerve-wracking experience. So if you have some time to go in and do practice interviews where the stakes aren't so high, you're going to be able to come into the real thing with a lot more confidence and a lot more polish. Tip number 2 is to be as friendly and engaged as you can with everyone you interact at the company. Now, I don't think people are going into companies and being downright rude to the secretary or telling people that they don't want to talk to them, but a lot of students will go into a company, and if there's a little bit of time to wait before the interview, they'll just kind of sit in the waiting room and stare at their phones. And I can tell you from experience that people who aren't the hiring manager still do observe the behavior of potential candidates, and then they talk to those hiring managers. And in a lot of companies, the hiring decisions don't come down to just the people that you interview with. A lot of times they're going to ask anybody who talked with a potential candidate if they have any objections. So if you come into a company and you have a few minutes before the interview, spend some time talking to the person at the front desk. Or if they're busy, at least be really polite, greet them, ask how their day is going, and then sit down and do your waiting. Also, don't walk into the building wearing headphones. Just don't. Tip number 3 on our list, come prepared with questions for your interviewer. Now, you might think that an interview is just a situation where you're supposed to answer the interviewer's questions because they're figuring out if you're the best candidate for the job. But don't forget that you're trying to figure out if the job is right for you as well. Additionally, coming to the interview prepared with your own questions tells the interviewer that you are engaged, you're interested in the position, and that you put in a little bit of preparation. While you might think that having no questions makes you seem like you know everything, and maybe that's a good thing, what it actually does is it makes the interviewer wonder if you're apathetic about the position and if maybe you're just doing it for money. One question you should definitely keep in your back pocket is, what opportunities for advancement or additional duties am I going to have at this company? The great thing about this kind of a question is it tells your interviewer that you are willing to be adaptable and flexible and you're willing to learn new things. And that is a great quality to have in somebody that you are employing if you're a business owner. Related to my 3rd tip on asking questions during the interview, tip number 4 is to research the company before you walk into that interview room. Once again, this shows a level of preparation and dedication that a lot of other candidates aren't going to have, and that's going to help you stand apart. Now, I know what you're thinking. What kind of research am I supposed to do, Tom? Well, you can do a little bit of preliminary research on the history of the company and its business, but you really want to understand what the culture is like, what people tend to do there, and what your intended position usually entails. Now, on the general position and duty side, there are tons of websites on the internet, so I'd recommend just Googling what does a network engineer do, for example. But for the individual company, you can use sites like Glassdoor and Vault to get reviews from actual employees and get a little bit of a feel for what the company's culture is like. All right, we are on to tip number 5, which is to bring a notebook and a pen to the interview with you. Doing this is yet another signal that you are dedicated and detail-oriented because you're able to actually take notes on the details of the position during the interview, but it also allows you to come prepared with some pre-written notes about the company's history or any questions that you might have. You should also bring a couple of copies of your resume just in case it becomes useful during the course of the conversation, and if you happen to be applying for a position where examples of your work would be useful, bring those along as well. During my last couple of years of college, before before I became a full-time entrepreneur, what I would bring to an interview is this leather pad folio, which had some resume copies in it, it had some notebook, paper, and a pen in it, and I also brought an iPad that I would keep inside of it, which had screenshots of my web development work. And a little bit of a side note here, I made sure that I had screenshots of my web dev work because in case the company didn't have Wi-Fi, I wouldn't have been able to load the actual websites. Tip number 6, 7, 6, send thank you notes or thank you emails within 24 hours of your interview. Now, I say thank you notes or thank you emails because in my mind, time is of the essence here, and in a lot of cases, it's pretty difficult to get an actual physical handwritten note to your interviewer, especially if the building that you went to the interview in is far away from where you are. So in those cases, a thank you email works pretty well. But if you happen to have the ability to give an actual handwritten thank you note, and it's within 24 hours or maybe within 48 hours at the very latest, then that can actually add a nice touch. It should also be noted, and yes, that was a pun, that you shouldn't limit your thank you notes or thank you emails just to the interviewer. If you interacted with a secretary during your time at the building, or you actually got to go tour the building and talk to somebody doing a job that you would be doing, send those people thank you emails as well. It really goes a long way. Tip number 7 on our list is to wear a well-tailored suit to your interview, assuming that you need to wear business formal attire. Now, I do have to make a slight admission here. Ever since I bought myself a suit that actually fits well, unlike the one that I had in college, which definitely didn't fit me like a tarp, I've leaned towards recommending an actual suit to go into interviews rather than just regular business formal attire. But if you don't happen to have a suit and you can't afford one, you can definitely wear a button-down shirt with a nice tie and a nice pair of slacks. If you're a girl, there are definitely dresses that fit that business formal requirement, or you can do something like a dress skirt. But in general, you want to make sure that you are dressed for success in this situation. Now, one exception to this recommendation is if you were specifically told not to wear a suit, or if they tell you what to wear to the interview. If you're going to a company that has a really casual dress culture and they say, hey, just show up in a t-shirt and jeans, man, don't show up in a suit because you're going to look like you won't fit into that company's culture. Now, in the case that you don't quite know how a suit should fit, or you're looking for some additional tips on how to dress well for an interview, I definitely have some recommendations for you guys. As a guy, I learned a huge amount of what I know personally about how to dress well from my friends Aaron Marino at Alpha M and Antonio Centeno over at Real Men and Real Style. And I do also have to give a shout out to a guy named Sven Raphael Schneider, who has a channel called Gentleman's Gazette, and that is much more focused on formal business attire and how to do it correctly. So that is also a great resource. For women, I am definitely a lot less knowledgeable, but I did find a YouTuber by the name of Elle Florence who has a lot of videos on how to dress for work and interviews, so definitely check out her channel. And if you are a woman or you know of great resources for women, definitely leave them in the comments down below. Tip number 8 is to be prepared for behavioral interview questions. These are the kind of questions that ask you to tell a story about your previous work experience that demonstrates how you handled the situation and what you learned and improved on. Some examples of these kind of questions include, tell me about a time when you were in a high-pressure situation and how you responded. Or give me an example of a time when you didn't meet a goal that you had set and how you dealt with it. Or tell me about a time when hordes of the undead attacked your workplace and what items from the break room you fashioned makeshift weapons. Okay, maybe not that one. So, Martin, make a note to ask the next person we interview that question. So the best way to handle these kinds of questions is to look at examples of them beforehand and to think of stories from your past working life that would fit them. And crucially, the stories you pick should be crafted in a way that demonstrates how you learned or improved in some way that's relevant to the job. Now, keep in mind that you don't need a specific story for every possible interview question that could come out because 1, that is impossible, and 2, when you have a few stories and you've practiced them, they're going to be pretty adaptable and you're going to be able to apply them to a wide range of different questions. All right, we are on to tip number 9, which is actually my personal favorite. View the interview for exactly what it is, a conversation between two parties who have things to exchange. The reason this tip is on the list is because a lot of students go into interviews feeling like they're going into like an audience with King Louis XIV or something, and they're going to be granted a job because of the mercy and benevolence of the almighty king that's sitting across the table from them. And that's not the case. Remember, companies put a lot of time and effort and money into attracting the best possible talent. That's what they live and die by. So believe that you are the best possible person for the job and let that be communicated in the interview. Don't be arrogant or cocky, but be confident. Finally, our last tip on the list is that 15 minutes early is on time and on time is late. Here's the thing. You want a bit of buffer time when you walk into the company's doors just in case they happen to be ready for you right now. You don't want to be coming in 30 seconds late because you got stuck in traffic. Plus, showing up a little bit early makes a really good first impression and it gives you an opportunity to potentially network with the person running the front desk or some other people at the company before you go into the interview. So those are my top 10 tips for helping you to ace your next interview. Though the interview is only half the battle, the best way to ensure that you're that hiring manager's #1 pick is to do everything you can to be building skills and experience that set you apart from the competition. And if you want to learn more about why that's so important and how you can use an experience-based mindset to eventually find work that you truly do love, Cal Newport's book, So Good They Can't Ignore You, is a book that you should definitely read or listen to on Audible.
Cool. So those are his tips. Now after that, he started selling his product. So, but I really like Frank. Frank, when I met Frank, he's a cool guy, and he's from, I think he's out of Michigan, I believe, but he's a cool guy, and I really love his tips. And the matter of fact, his tips helped me get this position that I am right now here at MCC. So I watched his video, and I met with him personally. So I even called him like, hey, I need some tips, because I have not been on an interview in years. I mean, years. I've been at Moraine Valley for over 10 years. So I have not interviewed for any position at all. And so me coming here was like one of my first interviews. And I think I shared this with you guys on our first workshop that we had. You know, I had to do my elevator speech. The elevator speech with the vice president. Karen figured out who the vice president was that I did elevator speech with. So I did the elevator speech with one of the vice president at a fight at a Kappa conference. And I was at a conference, and I was with a bunch of vice president and presidents of schools across the state of Illinois. And so I knew it was time for me to move on to another place. That the current job that I was working at, I just feel like they value me, Demetrius Robinson, but they didn't value my position when it comes to compensation. So that job, I can do no wrong. I can still be there and go back there if I want, but I won't get paid what I'm worth. So I really feel like MCC offer me a better package, and they pay me what I'm worth. They value the position, but also they value me as a person. And so I knew MCC was a great fit for me. But before I even got the position, I was very not arrogant, as he said in the video. I was very confident in myself. So when I went up to the vice president here at the college and just said, hey, I'm looking for another opportunity, and he said, give me the 30-second elevator speech, I did it right then and there. I was ready. And one of my leadership qualities or tips I always share with everybody, always be ready. Y'all write this down. Be ready for the expected or the unexpected. Just be ready. When an opportunity presents itself, will you be ready? Will you know what to say and what not to say? Will you be ready? And so I was ready in that moment when he told me to do the elevator speech. Be honest with you, I really wasn't ready in my mind, but I had no other choice but to sell myself. And so me being confident and knew what goals and accomplishments and what I can bring to the table, I was prepared. But that's why I always say, just be ready. You may never know what opportunity presents itself, who you may come in encounter with. Will you be ready? And so that elevator speech was kind of almost like my interview, because I lined up. That was like a mini interview with elevator speech, because he kind of pretty much told me, share, tell me something about yourself. And usually that's always the first question someone always asks. And Carol probably know that every interview that you go on, they always ask, tell me something about yourself. And so that elevator speech, by me practicing it so much, I was kind of prepared to give that speech. And so then when I got here on campus, so usually it's different types of interviews. This can be the telephone interview, it can be the in-person interview. And at MCC, the in-person interview was with 7 people. I had 7 people on my committee. I'm like, why is something to pay about? So it was 7 people. And so I had to look and had to position myself and turn in this person and dress everyone's by their name, let them know I was paying attention and give them eye contact. And so I had to do this. So they have the group interview, which is other people, and there was a committee interview. You can do a telephone interview. And now we living in this new world that everything is going to be virtual interview. Everything is going to be Zoom. And it's going to be, so making sure that your lighting is perfect. You still have on a shirt and tie, and your business suit. And then, like, I think I shared this last week about, for me, I have to put on, regardless of I'm at home, I don't want to have on my jumping pants and my slippers. I full up, I dress. I put on my shirt, my tie, my my dress shoes, everything. I got my smell good on. I brushed my teeth. I washed my face. So I did it all. So I want to feel like I'm on an interview. And so if you're going to be virtual, you still have to prepare yourself if you're going to be on the interview. So, but when I came to here to the MCC, had to be ready because they gave me a tour, and the college president stopped me because he heard about this Demetrius Robinson. I'm very known in the community college world, but he knew about me, but he never seen me. And so when they gave me the tour, I had to shake my hand, and he asked me a question, so I had to be ready. It goes back to being ready. He wanted to know, who is this famous Demetrius Robinson? So right here in front of my office in A254, they was giving me a tour, and he stopped me right here in front of the Zen Garden. Now that I didn't know what the Zen Garden was back then, but now I know what it is. But he stopped me right in front of the Zen Garden and asked me a question. And the question was, Mr. Robinson, you take a lot of selfies. So let me know that he checked my social media, which I do a lot of selfies, and my Snapchats and everything. You see, I'm like this with a group of students. Matter of fact, let me show you guys. This is a group of students here at MCC. So I'm always taking selfies. And so these are some students here at MCC, and I got here. This is one of my first groups. And I'm taking selfies, and I put it on my social media to let people know what I do, and I love people, da da da. And so he's like, Mr. Robinson, you take a lot of selfies. It wasn't a real, like a hard hitting question, but I had to come back with an answer. And I said, sir, I take selfies to engage with students. I said I make students feel comfortable, and they feel comfortable. They trust me, and so I do this to engage, and I say engage, relate, and encourage these students, know they can be their best, and then they can find something in me. He's like, oh, okay. And he gave the look, and I said, I knew I was hired after he gave me that look. And so Mr. Gabbard, Dr. Gabbard's kind of like strict, but when he gave me the look, I'm like, okay, I think I'm in. And so I think I am. That was a good question. Then I found that he's into psychology and a counselor. It related. I didn't even know he was all that. His background is in counseling. So I was like, wow, that was good. I felt good after I walked away from him. I'm like, yes. And I had to get my firm handshake. I don't know what we do now. I'm still talking with my colleagues about, do we do elbow? Carol like do the elbow. So, but at the time I had to give him the firm handshake, look him eye to eye. Nervous as what? My hands were still sweaty. But I had to still do what I had to do and give him the firm handshake. And so, but there's going to be various different types of interviews, and you're going to be nervous. Like I just said, I was nervous. I was nervous. But by me being nervous, it's still, the nerves shook off because I was very confident and I knew what I was talking about. If you're very knowledgeable of what you're talking about, you practice and you're passionate about it, I think your nerves will go away. The more you practice it and the more that you're confident in knowing it, the material that you're interviewing for. And so I think that's went away. And so when I had my interview last month, I'm not looking, I did have an interview last month with a company, another college that's really pursuing me, but I just wanted to go and see what they was all about. And the interview went well, but I don't know if I shared this with some of you guys. I forgot to put something on my resume. And so I shared this on the interview. So on the interview, I share more about who I am, what I can bring to the table, all of my wonderful accomplishments, saying I'm a product of community college. At the time, I forgot to put that I was a product of community college on my resume. So as I'm sharing my accomplishments, I have associates, I have a bachelor's, I have a master's degree, I have all this particular training and certification. So I'm sharing all of this. The vice president on that interview and said, Mr. Robinson, you didn't put on your resume that you graduated from Richard J. Daley College. Totally forgot. Carol, you see your face. I totally forgot. So I'm just sharing my accomplishments, sharing my training, letting this person know like, hey, I get the community college student. I am a community college student, but totally forgot to put that on my resume. And then that cost me that position. And it was a dean position, but I think I'm good where I'm at. Because the deans don't see students. And so I like that. They don't see students, Carol, do they? I don't do things, don't see students. And I like to do workshops and be with students. But and I think it was a blessing in disguise for me because, you know, it was meant for me to be here, but that just made a lesson for me. I think every interview should be a life lesson for all of us. We should learn something. We should have a takeaway from something. Curl, you're about to say something. You unmuted yourself. Go ahead.
I do want to just add one thing. What's interesting, because I went through the interview process as well at MCC, several, so I understand that. And I think the key, especially at MCC, but I'm sure at other companies, is that you match the mission statement. Because the mission statement for MCC is every student is our success, right? And MCC really prides themselves with successful students, and they will do anything they can to make sure that students are number one. And so when Dr. Gabbard asked you, you answered it right. They were looking at how do you engage students. And so when you're looking at a company that you're going into interview, get the mission statement. Look up the mission statement before you go in, and their vision, the mission and the vision. Every company has it, especially most companies. Small companies, maybe they need it. And that's something that you can work on in a small company, because everybody, personally and professional, you know, in a business or even personal, you need a mission and a vision, and that's how you're successful. But because you matched it, I know for a fact, because I also found that in my another interview for a full-time position, I missed the beat on that. I do a lot of extra work. I mentor students. I have been the marketing challenge. I got involved in that with the high schools. So I'm getting involved in more extra activities, and full-time teachers need to do that, right? And I'm a part-time teacher, right? I'm an adjunct. And so that's the connection that they're looking for. So that's what I'm saying to you is whatever company that you go to interview, find out what drives them, and your answer, as soon as they ask you, well, why are you here? Don't repeat the mission statement, but align your values and your mission with theirs. And that's what they're looking for.
That is so key. And it's so interesting. So I had an interview once before, and I think I really didn't want the job. So it said in the video, do your research on the company. It said that in the video. And so I think I was just going to interview just to practice, but they asked me, what is the mission of this particular school? It was a phone interview, so they didn't see my face, but I'm like, I did look it up because I knew it wasn't, for me, I knew it was just practice. But then I just made it up. But they were like, oh, that is good. I made it up.
Well, sometimes you get by with that. Your personality sells for sure. Right. But really, that's really important to align that. And the other thing that in the video, great video, by the way, too, I like that a lot. I'm going to send you a separate note because I like to get that more information. But to help my students, because I do some of that in my classes too. But I think it's important when you are waiting, and that is huge. Don't be using your cell phone. Do not put the cell phone, turn it off. Don't even have it on. Just tell anybody who needs to reach you, you'll get it to them when you get back, online. But turn it off. Don't let it ring. Do not let it ring in the interview. They know that you are in the moment and you're taking the time to focus on them. And they want people to focus on their work. They don't want you distracted by everything. And if you're doing that 1 hour that they have, because I did a lot of interviewing, that 1 hour that they have, they're looking for signs to get to know you personally, because it's so hard to know someone within that hour. And they do ask. They will ask the receptionist. They will ask other people 100%, because you have to work with those people. So they will ask them. So while you're waiting, do get to know them. Don't take too much of their time, but try to get to know their name. Try to greet them. Be personable. Be respectful. Do all that. All the things that you would want someone to treat you, the golden rule. And they're seeing that. So they definitely are measuring you. They definitely, from the time you walk in, actually the time you drive into the parking lot. They even see you when you drive in.
Carol, that is so good. So when I drove here to MCC, you guys know I'm in Chicago. So I drove in. So I just got out my car. I got here. My interview probably was at 8 o'clock. Or 8:30. I probably got here at 7:30 knowing me. So I probably got here at 7:30, 7:45. And then I'm in the parking lot, 8 building parking lot. I get out, I got my suit on, this guy, and I didn't know he was wound up being one of the IT supervisors here at MCC. And he just said, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing today?" I said, "Oh, how you doing?" I said, "I'm here for an interview and just having conversation." But I'm literally just get out of my car, and this guy is just talking to me. Now I found out that he's one of the big time IT personnel here at the college campus. There's no telling what he went to go share this information with. Like, I just met a guy with a suit on. He's one of HR. And so I was just in my car in the parking lot here at the college. And it's kind of like, as soon as you get it, so just be prepared. You get out that car. Like, I didn't have my music playing loud. I didn't want them to think I was one of those guys that playing music. So I drove into the parking lot, nice smooth jazz music playing, trying to find where I was going. But as soon as I walked out the car, he asked me where I was going. And that was just,
They see everything.
see everything.
The social media, you're saying, so that worked in your benefit because your job is to engage, and you answered that great, because I think that's super. I need to do more pictures like that too, because it shows engagement with students, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's great. And so whatever vision you're trying to develop for the job that you want, that's the kind of picture you show on social media. You're building your brand. You're building you. That's your brand image. So you need to find out where you want to go and start branding yourself. Everything you do in life has to start branding, because they check Facebook, they check LinkedIn, they check Instagram, they check all the social medias. So you want to make sure that it's good, it's showing what you want. And it depends upon really the job that you're going for. Right? I mean, and he said the same thing. If the job calls for a suit, then you wear a suit. If the job calls for to be a little bit less casual, you don't want to be overqualified, because if you're overqualified, they're going to dismiss you, right? So if it means that you have to dress down a little, you have to find out about the company, and you might even make the call. You might say, "What is your dress code?" You might even ask call the receptionist and just say, that you're going to have a interview there. You want to know what is the company dress code. I mean, if you can't find it on if you can't find it on a website somewhere, find out, so that you do go in. Here's the key. You want to look the part. You dress the part. They want to see you already in the job. So how you look, how you act, how you speak, you're already doing the job. If they can see you, that's how when I interviewed, if I can see that person already in the job, I'm like, that's the one I want. That person acts that way, they dress that way, they behave that way. That's exactly. Now, not always did it happen when they started working. It was like, whoa, wait, that's not what I saw, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. But that's what they're looking for. That's one more step in the door, right? Is acting the part, dressing the part, talking the part.
Yes.
Live like you're already there. If you want a management job, act like a manager. Right? Act the part already.
That's so true.
You're selling yourself already in that position, and they see yourself in that position. Those are another things that are like great things to get into a job.
That's so true. So Karen put something in the chat. Karen, what you put in the chat? I couldn't read it.
I have to leave like in 1 minute. I have a student government meeting, but the first question I had jotted down earlier in the conversation was, what do you do in a situation where you can't shake hands? I was raised that way. You look them in the eye, firm shake, you repeat their name. So when you figure that out, even if I graduate in December, Demetrius, would you reach out to me and let me know? Because I do want to know what's acceptable professionally. And the other thing is, I am not a PTK member, although I do carry a 4.0. I was a co-founder of a club on campus. I'm now the president. I'm doing an internship. I'm involved in many organizations. I've received scholarships, but it seems to me, and it could be I'm just feeling sorry for myself, but it seems to me that MCC is really promoting PTK, which is a national foundation, not just based at MCC. So although I have all the qualifications, it does not behoove me to pay $50 or $80 for a membership when I have over 30 years of experience. So how do I sell myself to these employers when I'm competing with 21-year-olds that are graduating from MCC?
That's a good question.
Think about it and send me a text. I gotta go.
Okay.
I got another meeting. See you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
That's a good question, because you're right. A lot of times in community colleges, we are selling Phi Theta Kappa. I was the Phi Theta Kappa advisor. I met our the vice president was in Phi Theta Kappa. And so I can probably talk to her because I see in her chat, she's saying she don't want to pay the membership, but we have scholarships that can waive that fee, but it's still ways that you can still sell yourself. Yes, you're going to be up against a competition with these organizations. And, we talked about that last week about being affiliated with certain organizations, which probably will open the door for you because the old Chicago saying, you got to know someone to know someone to know someone to know someone. That's politics these days. But it is a way that Karen, by her being on this call, affiliating herself with me, and I can probably get her in some open doors also. So it is a way, and I can work with her personally and trying to navigate herself and getting in and going against those other people who have these particular qualifications. Since it is 4:00, do we have any questions that's out there that's burning out there? Because I don't want to keep you guys too long. So any questions out there relating to the video that you guys saw that you feel like, wow, that really stood out to me? Can you elaborate more on anything that you guys looking for the job fair tomorrow? Let's use this last 5 minutes to share anything that you guys would like to share with me or any questions.
I'm just sad I won't be able to go to the career fair.
Oh, you won't be there tomorrow, Ashley?
Yeah, I have work from 11 to 5.
Oh, okay. Are you still at, where you at now?
T-Mobile.
Yes, I want to say Sprint, but
Yeah, no, it's Sprint, but T-Mobile bought us.
Right,
So
okay.
technically, I've been at the same job, but just a different outfit.
Okay.
Almost a year now. So after a year, I quit.
Okay. Well, congratulations, you've been there a year.
Thank you.
What's your degree that you're going for, Ashley?
I'm going for an Associate of Arts transfer degree. So it was just general studying, but now I've got accepted into NIU, University of Illinois, Chicago. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm applying for many, many more. So I think my major will be architecture.
Oh, great.
Cool.
Go shoot for the stars. I think it's great. And if it takes you some time, because you might have to go part-time and work to afford it, you will do it. You will just keep your sights on it. Do what you love.
Thank you.
That's good.
Any other questions? No one?
Demetrius, you have to register for the job fair, right?
Yes, yep. So you have to register for the job fair. Hopefully Linda can put it in the link, or she's gonna put it in the chat right now. And so if anyone who have not registered, please register. That's how you get into the job fair. And then after you register for the job fair, you'll get another email stating these are the list of the companies, what company would you like to meet with. And so the job fair will be from 12:30 to 3. So that's gonna be the time frame. At 12:30, we would do a kickoff. I would just say, good morning, how you doing, everyone? Thanks for joining us. And then I say that I give you guys the format. And then after that, everybody just go into these different breakout rooms and you'll meet with that employer.
Oh,
cool. That's how it works. So hopefully it works out tomorrow. That's our first time ever doing a virtual job fair via Zoom. And so we're excited and nervous all at the same time.
Can I just attend it just to see how it works? I mean, I'm interested on how it's working with Zoom.
Yeah, so go ahead and she just put the link in the chat right now. So go ahead and click on it and then she can send you the link to the other acceptance link.
But I won't be able to attend the beginning. Can you drop in at any time or do you have to attend from the beginning?
It's 12:30 to 3. So just drop in anytime.
Drop in? Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Good job.
Cool. Matt, would you like to do any closing remarks before we go?
Yes, so I just wanted to thank everybody so much for attending these workshops because Demetrius and then all the members of the business club were really excited to bring you guys like a way of sharing career and job advice to anybody who's in the process of a job search and anyone who's just looking for more general career skill advice. And I'm just really happy to hear that everybody has learned so much from these 3 workshops. And I hope that we can continue to have these job prep workshops every single year. I've learned a lot myself as well. So thank you so much for attending and for your support. And thank you, Demetrius, for your time and sharing all of this valuable information.
Oh, and thank you to Business Club for you. It was their idea. We do the workshop, but they were like, we need to partner together. And so we have more attendance now because of the Business Club, because of this partnership and this collaboration has been great. And
It's
so
amazing to hear.
and I know, right? So I can't wait for next year. But right now, y'all just wish us the best for tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm over here like, oh, I hope this works tomorrow. But I'm wishing for the best. So thank you all. I can't wait to see. I know Sarah will be there tomorrow. GM will be there tomorrow. Thank you, Farah has joined us. Thank you, Samara. I said it right. Thank you, Samara. Maxie, it's good to see you. Gonna haven't seen you in a long time. So definitely come visit me. I'm on campus Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 to around 5 o'clock or 5:30. So you definitely come and see me Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I work remotely, but it may change next semester. But I'm definitely here. Come and see me if you want to see me in person. I'm here on Mondays and Wednesdays. And you can see me also Tuesday and Thursday. Get comfortable with the Zoom interview because that's going to be a lot of Zoom interviewing. So be prepared. Make sure during the Zoom interview your lighting is correctly. Like right now, I feel like my head is shining too much. So I probably need to do like this a little. But make sure your background is good. You know, you don't have a messy bed. You don't have um, stuff all over the dresser drawer. You're in a nice, quiet space that they can hear you. They can hear you. You don't need one of those funky, crazy backgrounds. So you want to make sure they can see you in that particular space, and they can hear you clearly. Make sure your connection is strong. And so those are some good tips for now. Everybody's doing a Zoom interview now. And so definitely do some practice, do some mock interview practice with us or even with some of your friends. So thank you all for coming today. I really appreciate it. I think it's time for us to go.
Great
Thank you.
job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Demetrius.
Thank you. See everybody tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.